Hey, I'm D, and this is D-Mon's Garage. Today we're going to talk about bringing people with you to the track for various forms of auto racing.
What kind of racing can I do by myself?
It varies. Certain things like NASCAR, which is, on the high end, or a lot of different stock car racing and stuff, generally you need a pit crew. Local tracks, dirt track, pavement tracks. A lot of times you can get away with doing that by yourself. Having an extra set of hands is always useful. In any form of motorsports, you generally, if you have one extra person, it's helpful.
What about the drag strip?
Drag strip, you can do like certain bracket racing and index racing. You can get away with just doing it yourself. An extra set of hands is always useful, especially the first couple of times. Especially if someone that you know has done it a couple of times, and this way they can talk you through it. Generally, when you're sitting in the staging lanes, you want to set your air pressure. Well, if you're all suited up, even though you don't have your helmet on, set your air pressures and stuff right before you go in, and then getting yourself buckled in sometimes can be really, really hard.
Do you need someone to pull you up to that light for the tree, or the person who's bringing you up to a line?
In reality, no. Most bracket racing, most local tracks, drag strips, they don't even allow that. In no prep and certain other, heads up style races, you actually do use that. But what it is, after you do your burnout, you want to make sure that person is setting you into your track, back into your track, so you're not off one way or another, because it'll cause the tires to slip, you won't get as much traction, and then walk you up to the line. It's just a lot easier. You already have enough stuff going on inside the car and everything else.
So does it make a difference if you're racing local or further away?
Generally, if you're racing farther away, it's beneficial to have an extra person with you, due to the fact that this way you have someone to share driving with you. If something happens to you, you have someone to load the car, make phone calls for you, that kind of thing. In some forms of motorsports, some guys are less than honest or as friendly. I've seen cases where guys are running for point standings at a series, and guys have gone and stolen their race cars just so they couldn't win the point series. I've seen other ones where guys have dropped $20 bills, and 3 people will stand over that $20 bill waiting for you to come back and pick it up. Make sure that no one else takes it. But like I said, generally that depends on the quality of people you're racing with, where you're racing, that kind of thing.
So what's your racing situation going to be, Demon?
Generally, I plan on taking my wife and my child with me. So I can share a lot of this with you and we can talk, but I'll have someone to hold the camera and whatnot. But like I said, she's not always going to be with me. Sometimes other things come up. I might be racing locally and other things come up.
Kids get sick, it happens.
That's it.
But at least you can race by yourself.
Yeah, depending on what you're doing. At the very beginning, I'm probably going to do a lot of bracket racing just so I can show you guys how it's done, and I can get back into that flow, because my skills are rusty as far as a lot of that goes. But, and that's the cheapest way you can get going. You don't have to have an 4-second car or whatever. You can pretty much go with anything, as long as, and it's just getting used to doing stuff in an organized manner.
And you don't have to have somebody back up for a run like this where you have to pay somebody potentially, or...
Yeah, that's it. Generally, like I said, you'll run into the same guys a lot, so you can ask them if they'll back you in. But in bracket racing and stuff, you're not doing these 330-foot John Force burnouts. You're doing enough to either heat the tires or clean them off, and you don't go past the tree.